I'm Mona Adams-Winston.
And my name is Vita. And she says we met in Mississippi in 2014, correct?
What are some of your favorite memories from your friendship?
We met at the post office. Our little rural post office in Red Banks, Mississippi. She was just in there and she was talking about these flyers.
They were invitations that we put in people's mailboxes. We were having a neighborhood cookout just to meet our neighbors. We had been there a year and we just thought we needed to meet our neighbors, and I had some of my grandchildren with me, so we printed out invitations and took them to every house. We went probably about almost 2 miles from our house because it's rural, so to hit all the different houses you had to go quite a ways. And yes, Miss BJ let me know that that was not the thing to do, put them in people's mailboxes. And but she came.
But I was being helpful. I could have said being helpful so she wouldn't get in trouble. You know, we're in Mississippi.
And I said in Wisconsin, we always did things like that. You know, you wanted to give people information, you just put in their mailboxes, and she was letting me know Mississippi.
I just thought that was the nicest thing to do. You know, you don't hear that kind of community, you know. And I was like, wow,
And
she's interested.
So she came to the party. And we have been friends ever since.
One of my favorite memories was the birds, the hummingbirds. They have a hummingbird festival in Mississippi all the time. And she enlightened me about that. But that was so exciting to me. And she goes all the time.
One of my favorite memories is that we got up a girls' trip. And we went to Nashville. And I don't know where, I just would have these spare of the moment things that we should do. So we went there and we went out to eat and we went to the...
what was the name of that restaurant we went to?
Maggione?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And then we went to, what was the old Opry, Gaylord Opry place. And you rode in a boat all around the inside of the hotel. And it's just really set up really nice. So we had a really good time. But we had time going out to eat from breakfast to dinner. I mean, we'd go down to the truck stop for breakfast. And people were like, the truck stop? I said, oh yeah, they had the best breakfast.
Right below where we lived, so that was good.
Really
and
easy.
Going to, I like going to the nurseries. She's got... green fingers. You heard green thumb? She's got green fingers.
These winters, though, have really messed up my plans. I've got to almost start all over again. But we just, you know, we always had fun. I'd come down to her house. She had a little dog running around and beautiful pond in front of her house. And Mr. Kane would be out there either getting his tractor stuck in the pond, and Hubert would have to come out and pull him out of the truck. That happened a couple times, but it was just, you know, just a lot of fun to know that I could call my sister friend and say, girl, let's go do something. Yeah. Or I'm ordering some peaches. I'm ordering a whole thing of chicken wings. Remember the chicken wings?
Well, wait, what about the canning? Remember the canning?
Oh, the can, yeah. I mean, yeah, we went to the what was it, the Marshall County Extension, and they taught us how to can salsa, and then we got to eat salsa. But, I mean, if she wasn't thinking of something to do, I was thinking of something to do. And we were just running. So I miss her. I miss her so much. Because Red Banks is not the same.
Right. And especially at that time in my life, too, moving away from my comfort zone, California, and the friends there and losing contact. And this lady just walked in, ding, ding, ding. It's like, oh. I got like,
yeah, I had moved from Wisconsin, where I, you know, was busy all the time, to sitting in the country, and I was just like, oh my goodness, what have I done? And I said, I got to make some friends.
What are some lessons that this friendship has taught you about friendship?
I think that one for me was learning to leave friends whatever their way of living and doing things, it's okay. It doesn't have to be my way. It don't have to be the right way. And you don't break up because of those things. Mm-hmm. And I've learned that with Mona through other friends, you know. And I was like, okay, because I can be standoffish.
Really?
Because I can be standoffish because that don't fit the mold.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, that don't fit the mold. So, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it is interesting to meet somebody that, you know, like she said, she came from California, and I think you're a 49er fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a Green Bay Packer fan. I'm from Wisconsin, and I had to kind of let that go. I'm like, okay, well, she's got her team, you know, but I think also learning that age-wise, I have friends that are young people. I have friends that are older people, older than us.
Uh-huh.
And you can glean off different things from different age people. And it's really wonderful if you're open to it. You know, if you shut yourself down and just say, oh, those young people don't know anything, or, you know, oh, she's an old lady, old man, whatever, you know, they don't know what they're doing anymore. No, you're not going to learn anything. But if you open your mind up, you can do a lot of different things. So,
right.
But you can share a 40-pound box of wings. Oh my God, I do miss that. 'Cause every time I see a special, it's like, who can I share this with? I cannot buy a 40-pound box of wings.
What has this friendship taught you about God and about living a life of faith?
Well, along the same lines, because you don't judge people. You can have, well, this person acts like this person acts like that. But you don't use that against them, not to befriend them, because that's who they are. And you don't talk about them with other people. Oh, you know, you know, be two-faced it kind of like thing. So I've learned that with Mona, just how she goes through. She's got so many friends, people at cards, people at the book clubs, and all of that, which I didn't have. All I had was her and our other friend that came on board, Connie. And so I was able to not carry that mentality with me through her. And then she's a book reader. Oh my God, she's a book reader.
Either listener or reader. Yes,
right.
yes. But
and all those things she just enriched my spirituality.
Well, what I learned from Miss VJ is faith. I mean, to go through health issues with your loved one, or your children doing this, your grandchildren doing that. She just has the faith that things will work out. God will help her with anything that's going on, and that helped me a lot because my mother lived with us for 3.5 years. She had a stroke, and we brought her down. Actually, we brought her down from Wisconsin. She had the stroke in Mississippi. But Miss VJ was one of my trusted friends that I could have come over and watch Mom, so I could get away for a little bit. And it takes a lot of faith and trust to leave someone that's so vulnerable with someone else. And But I thought that was just wonderful that you were able to help me like that. And Mom just loved seeing you, and I'm so glad she met you before she had the stroke, so she knew, you had actually talked to her before and everything, because she was nonverbal, but she could look at you and blink those eyes. Right. But I think knowing that VJ is a woman of faith has just made our friendship, I think, just more richer. And I have a few friends that don't believe, and it's hard because I don't want to, once you meet them, you might try to talk them into going to church with you or something like that. But after a while, you have to just let them be who they are, where they are. And if they're your friend, you just understand that. Same thing with politics, anything like that. You just, if they're your friend, you just leave it be. You have other things that you can talk about. And we always had other things to talk about. But I went to, her church and visited with her church, and had my church in South Haven, Brown Baptist Church, and, so we both believed in, we both believe in God, believe, we're Christians, but the churches just had different
feels to them.
Yeah, different feels. Different.
And I'm glad you touched on that, because that kind of hurt me. that she didn't like my church. Well, that kind of hurt me. And then,
but I told you why.
I know. But I'm just saying it kind of hurt me. And I wasn't feeling Brown like you wasn't feeling Room C. I looked at Mona being able to do Brown, me not being and her not being to do. It was that she heard her voice. She heard him through that way. I heard him through that way. Because we was doing stuff together.
She wanted me to be at her church. I wanted her to be at my church.
Right. So So, but it didn't keep her from being close to me. So
it was just one of those differences.
We went to, remember the classes we went to in Memphis, where we went to dinner that time?
Oh yeah. We went to what was that? It was the Bible study fellowship. Bible study fellowship, and they do them all over the country. And we went together, and it was a really nice experience. And also your husband and my partner, like sometimes they'd be pulling us this way to do something and that, and I'd say, well, let's go to such and such, and Kane would have some kind of appointment or whatever, and or Hubert would be like, we gotta go on the motorcycle, we gotta do this. So finding time for each other, and it seemed like we would always find time for each other, and that was really great.
If you could tell your friend anything right now, what would you say?
I love you.
Oh, look at that! I would say I love you unconditionally.
Oh, she got a top.
Unconditionally.
I love you to infinity.
Ooh.
And above. Beyond. No, I really do love this lady. The first time Hubert heard me tell her, we were getting off the phone, I said, love you, girl. And he was like, did you tell her you love her? And I said, I do love her. And he was like, dang.
Well, where I stand, when I come in at, huh?
But I think a lot of men just do not understand women's friendships, that they can really love each other, And I honestly love you, girl.
Yeah, I just want you to know how many miles we are apart, how many lives we are apart. You will always be able to find me. Just look for me. Just look. She ain't changed her number. I know she ain't changed her number. And just
Facebook.
I'm here. I'm here.